on the new book we are discussing, Journey of Self-Discovery. So we are going to discuss a new topic today. So let's begin our session with prayers to Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandrodaya ki jai, Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. So last session, or last few sessions, we have been discussing on an interesting topic called physics of the self. So today's topic is connected with the self only, spirit soul. It's called understanding the living force. We're all actually spirit souls, right? So what is that spirit soul within us? Science behind the spirit soul. Let us try to understand in today's discussions. So today will be the first part, and we'll continue this discussion in one more session. And all these teachings are from the inspiration of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, who has so kindly given us these teachings in written form, as books, as recordings, wherein we can always access them and get a treasure of understanding every time. In that way, we can always immerse ourselves in the wonderful revelations of the spiritual understanding, which otherwise, for us to get into that very understanding is not easy, right? So Prabhupada has made the opportunities for all of us so wonderful, so nicely, that we can always, get in touch with the spiritual understanding anytime. So, offering our gratitude to Prabhupada, we'll begin our discussion. Understanding the self. So basically, this is a press conference which happened in Los Angeles in December of 1968. So in the press conference, the press reporters have asked few questions. So Prabhupada, in a specific way, is putting his points and basically is challenging the world's intellectual leaders to understand what is the definition of life, what constitutes life. Right? Just like because soul is present in the body, there is consciousness. Similarly, in this whole cosmic manifestation, there is super consciousness. Very simple logic Prabhupada gives. We'll understand this as we move forward in our presentation. The first thing Prabhupada makes is, why is the human society not peaceful in the present situation? What is the reason? So Prabhupada begins the press conference address by telling, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is a movement aiming at the spiritual reorientation of mankind to the simple process of chanting the holy name of God. Right? Very clear definition of what is the purpose of Iskcon or Hare Krishna movement. Hare Krishna movement, what is it doing? It is trying to spiritually uplift the people. As of right now, we are only considering that we are this body, we are this mind, or we are this intelligence, but we are beyond all of them as spirit souls. So a spiritual reorientation of the mankind to imbibe the spiritual values in the humanity. And all this is possible by the simple process of chanting the holy names of God. This is what Prabhupada brought this whole movement to the entire world. Right? It is not that we have to go to some forest or Himalayas, and then do meditation, severe austerities. No. You can be wherever you are, and you just chant the holy names of God. As Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If we do this, this will automatically awaken our dormant consciousness of God, which is already within us. Right now, we are spiritually disoriented. Basically, it means that we are putting our bodily consciousness in the forefront, or our emotions in the forefront, and forgetting our spiritual foundation. Right? Without the spirit soul, this body is useless. It's a nice statement Prabhupada himself makes in one of his teachings. Should put the horse before the cart. Right? Then the horse will pull the cart. If you put the horse behind the cart, what will happen? Cart will not move. It will only, be there. Right? And as long as it is there, it is there. Like that, our body, if you don't give the importance, value for the soul, and accordingly reorient ourselves, right? Then everything will be a failure. So Prabhupada says very nicely, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is a movement aiming at the spiritual reorientation of the mankind through the simple process of chanting the holy names of God. So what is the purpose of human life? The human life is meant to end the miseries of material existence. At least that is what we are trying to do presently. Atyantika dukkha nivritti. So we are facing day in and day out so many small to big problems. So we want to solve them, solve all those miseries. And the big problems of our material existence are what? We're getting old. We are becoming diseased once in a while, and then also we are going to die one day, and again going to take birth. These are big problems. So human life is meant to solve these problems. Why we have to solve the problems? Because as spirit soul, we don't want to experience any of these miseries. We want to live eternally. We want to have a blissful life of complete understanding, complete knowledge. But contrary to this, we have a life of temporary existence, ignorant life, and life filled with so much of miseries or problems. That is the present situation. So we have to come out of this miserable situation. That's what we are all trying to do. Anything, whatever we do in our life, we're trying to only solve these problems in our life. And presently, what's going on is that we're trying to end these miseries by material progress. But thinking that having smart cities or having up-to-date technology in our life will solve our problems. But actually, it may have given you some comforts in life. And it would have enabled your communication far and wide. It's like now we have flights so that we can go within 1 hour to even which otherwise would have taken 10 hours on road. Or going to one more country is maybe a few hours. Or communicating to any part of the world through our mobiles or other ways of communication is so simple. It would have connected us very well and all these things. But with this, it also brings in a lot of other complications in life. So the main challenge here is, yes, we have advanced in our way of comforts of life with regard to technological advancements. But has it solved the real problems of life? Is the question. So as a technology with regard to even medical field, has it made us stop our old age? Or has it stopped all our problems of diseases? Or has it given a solution to death? Is the question. So this is very striking whenever Prabhupada speaks. Yes, we want to solve the problems in our life, and and by advancement in science, technology, and so many other aspects in life, plan making, and so many things, we want to solve the problems. But these problems, you would have solved the material problems with regard to your comforts of life. But what about your real problems with your existence? Right? This is what Prabhupada is trying to challenge here. However, it is visible to all that in spite of extensive material progress, human society is not peaceful. Right? With so many ongoing wars all over the world. Right? Everyday news headlines will be only, okay, this country attacked this country, and so many people died, and counterattack happened. Everybody is trying to have peace. Always conflicts, wars. Right? There's no peaceful situation. Right? So what is that? Whether you should, we have to think, what is this material advancement we are doing, and so many things we are trying to improve in our standards of life by technological and scientific advancement. But even then, we are not peaceful. Not only individually, not only collectively, even individually, everybody is, unhappy. Peaceful meaning you are not satisfied, you're not happy within also. Everybody is having some or the other dissatisfaction, disappointment. So Prabhupada says the reason is that the human being is essentially a spirit soul. This we are not understood or not have that in our consciousness. We are only working as machines or think that we are machines. So machine is not working, so repair it, it will work again. But how long it will work? So we are actually simply not this body, we are spirit soul within the body. Body is only an instrument. Right? This is a very important aspect. The spiritual dimension of life is lacking. We're only taking this body as gross vehicle or gross instrument, and we can repair, we can adjust, and we can move on. But the important aspect is to understand and to study ourselves, what's going on in our life, right? And things around us. Prabhupada says very nicely, it is the spirit soul which is the background of the development of the material body. Like without the spirit soul, the body is, doesn't even move or doesn't even grow in that, for that matter, right? So spirit soul is the basis, the background. However, the materialistic scientists may deny the spiritual existence in the background of the living force. In the modern day way of approach is that there is no soul, I don't see the soul, maybe it is there, very vague understanding. But with little contemplation, we can easily understand that there is presence of the soul. The soul is absolutely there. Just that we are not aware or we are ignorant of that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Right? So the material scientists or the modern day education is denying this very spiritual existence. This is the defect. There is no better understanding than accepting this living force as ultimately the spirit soul within the body. Right? So our topic is understanding the living force within us. What is living force within us? You may call it as a force or energy or whatever it is. So little contemplate on what we are actually. So the spirit soul within the body, Prabhupada says, that this is the source of our very energy, our vitality, our existence here. And without understanding this, anything else you do is of no use. So next, very nice point which Prabhupada makes to make us little, contemplate with regard to whether we are, our body is growing or changing. We say growth, but actually what's going on? The body is changing from one form to another, but the spirit soul is existing eternally without change. Right? This we can even experience in our own life. Right? Body has been changing. From our birth up to now, we have changed many bodies. But I as a person is always the same person. We are not changing. Right? Very important point. It's exactly the beginning lessons in the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says that you as a person within the body is not going to change, but your external dress keeps changing. That is our situation right now. Right? So, this important revelation Prabhupada is making us or giving us. The body is changing. Right? From we have been experiencing it in our own life. But I, as a person, I remember my childhood, I remember my youthhood, I remember my adulthood. Right? This fact we can experience even in our own life. Since the beginning of our material body in the womb of our mother, our body has been changing from one shape to another at every second and every minute. Right? Even the modern science agrees to this. How the life began as a single combination of ovum and sperm, and then finally its fertilization happens, and gradually, day after day, the development happens. Right? And this development is happening continuously. Right? This process is generally known as growth, but actually it is a change of body. A very striking and important principle Prabhupada is trying to tell us. You may say it is growth, but from the Bhagavad Gita's perspective, it is change of body. Now, to understand this particular principle, an example is given. Just like, at least some years ago, we had this reel which was projected on a white screen, and this reel used to be, it will be running in a projector. If you carefully see that reel spool, so many slides are there. With one moment, for one moment, there will be at least 10 slides, right? Which is run, if you run that slides faster, then what happens? A frame, it's called frame. That frame is faster, then it looks like the hand is moving. But each frame is different. Right? Each picture is different actually. Like that, our body is actually changing. But because we are the same person, we are thinking we are growing. Very wonderful concept which Bhagavad Gita explains to us. So actually we are changing the body, not growing. This earth, one more understand this. On this earth, we see change of day and night and change of season. Right? Every day, we see day, night, and seasonal changes. We see. The more primitive mentality attributes this phenomenon to changes occurring in the sun. Somebody who is not aware of the physics behind this, science behind this, may speculate and come to some understanding that okay, something is happening in the sun, right? Day, night. For example, in the winter, primitive people think that the sun is getting weaker, and at night they presume sometimes that the sun is dead. Right? This is a simple understanding of a person who may not have the astronomical or the way the movements of the planets happen. Right? You think, oh, sun is morning it was bright and night it has become weak. And at in the winter season, it becomes very weak. That's why it is not able to emit a lot of heat. Or in the night, we are not able to see, maybe it is dead. Right? With more advanced knowledge, we see that the sun is not changing at all in this way. Sun is constant. With relative to the position of the sun, our earth is moving. As we are experiencing day, night, and seasonal changes. Seasonal and diurnal changes are attributed to the change of the relative position of the earth and the sun. Right? It is actually rotating in its orbit also, and it is rotating around the sun also. Right? This is the scientific understanding, which even the modern science says. So, the seasonal changes, the daily changes, day and night changes, is all attributed to the relative position of this earth and the sun. This is the fact, actually. So, basically, similarly, our body also is not that it is, it is dead or it is, again born. It is changing. Bodies are changing. So, Prabhupada reveals the truth, real truth about our body. What is our real, fact? Similarly, we experience bodily changes from embryo to child to youth to maturity to old age to death. Right? Very subtle principle Prabhupada is explaining. Actually, we are changing bodies, not that we are growing. Right? The less intelligent mentality presumes that after death, the spirit soul's existence is forever finished. Understand the principle of change of body. It's like you cannot say today I'm wearing a white shirt, tomorrow I'll wear a red shirt. So this white shirt is dead. Whether this body with the white shirt is dead? No. I changed my shirt. I'm changing my bodies in this journey of life. In this specific span of life, say 20 years, I changed so many bodies. So it is unintelligent to presume that, it is growing. Or once that body is finished, everything is over. No, the body may be over, but the soul's journey continues. That's what it means. This is the biggest, so you can say, fallacy in the modern day context. That people, or rather the modern day thinkers, scientists, they're all trying to propagate this concept. But after death, everything is finished. So whatever you want to do in this body, in this life. They are presuming or they are assuming that this body is everything. Rather, the understanding is, I am this body. But we are not this body. We are spirit soul. We as a person is spirit soul. We are inside the body. His body is only an instrument. It's only it's a vehicle. It's a dress. This is what Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita in different ways. So, very important principle to realize. If you think that after that everything is over, that is wrong. It makes this life very irresponsible. Just as primitive tribes believe the sun dies at sunset. Sun doesn't die. It is not in our vision, that's all. Actually, however, the sun is rising in another part of the world. Right? Because of the movements of earth and the sun. It's just that in my vision, it is not visible right now. And whenever sun appears again, I can see. Similarly, the soul is accepting another type of body. Right? This is the principle Krishna is explaining in the Bhagavad Gita. It is changing the body, accepting different bodies. When the body gets old like an old garment and is no longer usable, the soul accepts another body just as we accept a new suit of clothes. Very simple logic. Right? So we are changing bodies. And like this, once this body becomes totally, like our lifespan is over, then we change to a new body based on our karma. This we have understood in the previous topic. The physics of the self, right? The modern civilization is practically unaware of this truth. This is the, greatest, you can say, shortcoming in the modern day civilization. Totally unaware of the truth about the reality about ourselves. Prabhupada says this is the greatest drawback of materialistic civilization. We have misunderstood or a wrong understanding about who we are. People do not care about the constitutional position of the soul. When you are totally unaware or totally ignorant about who you are, you will be acting on a wrong understanding. It's like telling, because you are not familiar with a specific location, you may be misled, or you may go in a different direction and finally may not reach the destination. You will just be going around somewhere because you're not familiar. Right? So, because we are not aware about our actual existence as spirit soul, which right now is covered, understanding is covered. We are thinking I am the body and going on with the body. And like this, human body is finished and you get one more body, may not be a human body. Right? We are totally careless about our spiritual existence. That's the problem presently. So Prabhupada says, there are different departments of knowledge in different universities and many technological institutions. Right? Every university is offering so many different courses in different departments of knowledge. Right? All to study and understand the subtle laws of material nature. Right? How things are working, how to figure out what's going on in the material world, how business works, how people's interactions happen. So many things we are trying to understand. And there are medical research laboratories to study the physiological condition of the material body. Right? So many departments of knowledge are there. We study every aspect of our present life with regard to our interaction with people, our various activities, individually, collectively. But there is no institution to study the constitutional position of the soul. Prabhupada always pointed out this aspect in every teaching and every occasion, that even though we have we say we are advanced in science, technology, and we have so many departments of knowledge, but there is no department to study who you are. There is no department to study the constitutional position of soul. That I am spirit soul. Soul is such a vital aspect in our life. This study is not going on. So that's why Prabhupada established this movement to give this understanding to all of us. Okay. So this is the greatest drawback of materialistic civilization. It is simply an external manifestation of the soul. Without the soul, whatever you do is of no use. Right? Without understanding of the soul, whatever you do is of it's said in the scriptures, it is the decoration of a dead body. Right? Decoration of the dead body is appreciated by whom? Foolish people. Right? So that's what is going on right now. The greatest drawback or the greatest shortcoming of the modern day civilization is we are not aware of the soul, the actual truth, the fact. We're just going on with our externals. So with this, Prabhupada brings in one more wonderful concept known as super consciousness. What is super consciousness? People are enamored of the glittering manifestation of the cosmic body or the individual body, but they do not try to understand the basic principle of this glittering situation. So people, when they go to big cities across the world, people do want to travel and see, experience, right? And they're very much enamored. One of our acharyas say, Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Jada Vidya Mayar Vaibhava. The modern day science, technology, advancements, it's very glittering. Mayara Vaibhava is a manifestation of the illusory energy of the Lord. It's very glittering, very wonderful, very beautiful, big roads, nice in the night, all big buildings, lights are all glowing, right? But without the spirit soul, all this is useless. There's no people staying there. What is the point? with regard to people living, people are not there, and there's no point. It's like we're seeing in the present day situation of wars in the Middle East, how the countries are bombing each other with missiles and so many other modern weapons, and it is the cities are becoming totally deserted. All people are dying. Rather, acceleration of death has become very very simple nowadays. That's what is going on. So these are all points to be pondered over and little thought over what's going on around us. The body looks very beautiful, working with full energy and exhibiting great traits of talent and wonderful brain work. Oh, always we see, oh, this person is so intelligent, so beautiful, right? He's accomplished this, he has accomplished that, he can do this, right? We always praise the person with regard to his, his externals, right? With his beauty or with his intellectual capabilities, right? But that same person, very intelligent, very beautiful, a spirit soul in that person's body lives, then that body, whatever it is useless. Right? The recent experience of the death of a great industrialist, Mr. Ratan Tata, very intelligent, very hardworking, very resourceful, right? Very accomplished in everything. But behind all that, his accomplishment or his whatever achievements, that spirit soul in the body was there. Now it is left the body. He's no more there. This we have to understand. Spirit soul is what is making the body active and animated. But as the soul is away from the body, this entire glittering situation of the body becomes useless. Whatever you may have a big empire, you may be the owner of a big establishment, right? All that looks very nice or very glittering. People may be always glorifying you, appreciating you. As soon as the soul leaves the body doesn't, the dead body doesn't even know. That body also will be disposed very soon, right? The body becomes useless. So these are all subject matters which we need to deeply contemplate. We should not simply be attracted to the glittering situations around us. One of the great devotees by name Prahlad Maharaj says that Maya Sukhaya Bharamadvahato Vimudha. Right now, we are so much bewildered by the Maya Sukha. Oh, big building, big vehicle, a lot of comfort, big city. Like this, we are just enamored. We are just attracted to such things right now. Oh, new gadget, new thing, new advancement. So like this, if you are simply bewildered by these things, Prahlad Maharaj says, this bewilderment is no end. This is the biggest illusion for us, Maya Sukha. Why? Because we become such great fools, Vimudha, special fools, that we don't even realize that we as spirit soul is the cause for all these things. And when the spirit soul is out of the body, it is useless. Right? Even the great scientists who have offered many wonderful scientific contributions have been unable to trace out the personal self, which is the cause of such wonderful discoveries. Right? So, the basic understanding, the ABCD of our human existence is to know that I am spirit soul. If this is not understood, whatever externally you may show off, as Prabhupada always gives the example, you may have 1 0 or 100 zeros or million zeros. All zeros put together is one big zero. Right? Lack of knowledge of soul, ignorance of ourselves, is the greatest drawback in the modern day civilization. Because of the presence of soul, we are all happy, working, and we are all doing so many activities. No soul, it's no use. That's the point. So The understanding of soul and the background with which we are supposed to be working, acting, and interacting is what Prabhupada is trying to impress upon us. Right? Because all of a sudden, suddenly the person is no more. What happened to him? Right? That person was acting, now he's not there. What happened? This should really hit our understanding, and we should start thinking, what happened? This happened to me also. Right? So this is what Prabhupada wanted us to impress upon. So very nicely, Prabhupada says the Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, is basically trying to teach this science of the soul. Prabhupada says the first and most fundamental knowledge that a disciple learns from a guru is you are not the body, you are spirit soul. Misunderstanding. I'll give a very simple example to illustrate this. In a room, suddenly the power goes off, and then you are holding either nearby there's a rope, but you misunderstand it to be snake because there's no light. So that misunderstanding that I'm holding a snake will give you so much of anxiety, so much of pain within you. But this may bite me. What to do? Dark, I cannot see. Just see. So much of illusory madness you'll be going through. That's what Prabhupada is saying to tell us. When you have this misunderstanding that I am this body and we are working only on the platform of body, that is the greatest, you can say, disservice to our soul, ourself. Misunderstanding about our own self is creating wrong perception, wrong activities. Right? Wrong thinking will lead to wrong feeling, and wrong feeling will lead to wrong willing. Mind is having three activities: thinking, feeling, willing. So wrong understanding will lead you to wrong emotions and wrong actions. Right? So think over it. So Prabhupada further says, not in any dogmatic way, but through complete scientific and philosophical understanding. So this very understanding that we are spirit, soul, science of the soul is all very nicely, philosophically and logically, scientifically explained. Not in a dogmatic way. Dogmatic means, what I'm telling is truth. That's all. You should simply accept it. No questions, no challenges. It's not dogmatic. Prabhupada says, you use your logic, use your reasoning. Because in logic means, if the point what I am presenting is more convincing, then the other person should accept it. Be reasonable. Not that I stick on to my point of, no, I am always correct. That is called dogmatic. Prabhupada is not presenting any dogmatic principles here. Prabhupada is presenting the most logical, most scientific, and the philosophical. There are many things which you have to understand only through philosophical way of approach. Philosophical means going through the proper understanding through authorities, the way they have understood the subject matter. It is philosophically presented nicely in the teachings of the scriptures. So many things we cannot simply see or grossly experience them or grossly understand them. It has to be through our other faculties of intelligence and mind. This is what Prabhupada is trying to tell us. So, in the background of this body, you can find the soul whose presence is perceivable by dint of consciousness. Very nice point. This is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also. That the presence of the soul means your awareness throughout the body, in your body. And also around you, some aspects around you. Soul is not there, that body is a dead body, is useless in one sense. Right? So the soul's presence is perceivable by the presence of consciousness in a specific body. So the logic, if you further extrapolate, similarly, the universal body of the cosmic manifestation, one can perceive the presence of the Supreme Lord or the Absolute Truth by virtue of the presence of the Super Soul and Super Consciousness. Right? So if you study ourselves very carefully, because we are all made as small units in this whole creation, and the whole creation also is working the same principle. And there is super consciousness, the super soul. His consciousness is spread everywhere, which means the whole cosmic manifestation, the whole material creation, which you may think you're not aware how trees are growing, how different species of life are going on in their life. You're not aware, but the super soul is aware, because he is present in everybody's heart as super soul. And also his energy is everywhere. Right? This is what the scriptures give us understanding. So all this can be understood in a philosophical way. Philosophical way means try to get into the actual fact, actual truth. Analyze things around you, the proper logical, scientific approach. It's a very wonderful example Prabhupada is giving with regard to understanding. We as soul, we have consciousness. Similarly, there is super soul, is super consciousness in this whole creation. So how do we understand all these aspects? How do you understand this absolute truth? Prabhupada says, the absolute truth is systematically explained in the Bhagavad Gita and the Vedanta Sutra, basically. Vedanta Sutra means the essence of all the Vedic understanding is compiled in the form of formulas, short aphorisms. They're called Vedanta Sutra, also known as Vedanta philosophy. And this Vedanta philosophy is further elaborately explained in what is known as Srimad Bhagavatam by the same author. Vedanta Sutra is very short aphorisms, short, you can say, formulas, sutras, which easily we cannot understand. So the same author, Vyasadeva, has explained this in a very systematic way, very elaborate way, in what is known as Srimad Bhagavata. Okay. And Prabhupada further says, the Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of the Srimad Bhagavatam for understanding the constitutional position of the Supreme Lord or the Absolute Truth. So basically, Prabhupada wants us to explain that just like when we begin our schooling, we all begin with our kindergarten, then gradually first standard, second standard. Gradually that syllabus, subject matter, say in your kindergarten and primary classes, you may study alphabets, words, some grammar, or in mathematics, you may study 1, 2, 3 numerals, then addition, subtraction. The same thing when you go to higher classes, college, you'll be using the same thing, basics, right? And further, the knowledge is developed with regard to that particular field of understanding. Likewise, Prabhupada says, to begin with our spiritual understanding, you begin with Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary or the basic understanding of spiritual knowledge. The preliminary study of Bhagavata. Further, Bhagavata is like a postgraduate, rather graduate study that way. Right? So understand about who you are. I am not this body, I am spirit, soul. Bhagavad Gita explains in a very simple manner. Lord Krishna is explaining in his teachings in a very simple manner. So Bhagavad Gita forms the very preliminary or the basic, you can say, ABC of our spiritual life. Right? So who are we? Why are we here? What is this world around me? Who is running this world around me? Nothing is happening automatically. Everything is controlled by a superior force. Force means there's a person behind it. Right? So like this, we will discuss more in the next session. Meanwhile, if anybody has anything to discuss on what we just now discussed, you can ask any comments, any suggestions, any questions. Okay. Very, this topic, what Prabhupada is talking, is quite deep. It's a short address to the press conference and the reporters there in the press conference, but nevertheless, it has very deep meaning. It will go deep to understand things. Yes, Gupta ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
No, enjoyed listening to today's session.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Because the same topics would have heard in different way, but Prabhupada, whenever he presents the same topic, he presents from different angles of vision. That is, very interesting aspect of Prabhupada.
Very true.
Yeah. You may have read or heard, I am not the body and spirit soul. But from a different point of view, when Prabhupada says, example of sun, movement of the earth, and how we are not growing, we are changing, is a revolutionary concept. And always we have this understanding of growth. No, we are not growing. We are actually changing. Our bodies are changing constantly, but we take it as growth. Say, for example, with regard to in our own experience, say we have visited maybe our friend with his family, say 10 years ago. That time the child in that family was maybe 1 year old. But if you visit after 10 years, the child would have grown. For us, it is like it's growth. No, actually it changed. The body has been changed to different body. Whereas parents see it as growth.
Very true.
Whereas we, as Bhagavad Gita's principle is, it is changed.
No, very true.
Where that body is gone now, it is gone, over. Likewise, we are changing bodies continuously, and it goes on. Unless we realize that we are not the body, we are spirit, soul, and we have to work towards spiritual growth, spiritual upliftment. Spiritual growth happens because growth means what? It adds on.
Right.
With regard to material body, what happens? It gets finished at one point of time.
Very true.
Right? Growth means always it is a progressive development. Whereas change means it's over, total change.
Yes.
Right? That's what it is. Okay, fine. So thank you. We will continue this discussion and conclude in the next session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.